Good afternoon. This is Travis Clardy, President of the Texas Healthcare Association, coming at you for another weekend review. Now, we're recording this one today. If you may notice, my voice is a little rough and scratchy. I've got a cold that came on earlier this week, and I know where it's going, which probably means I won't be able to talk tomorrow. So we thought we better get this in the can. We have plenty to report. The House and the Senate met again this week. Tomorrow will be day 60 of the 89th legislative session. And that's important because that's the last day to file bills. And I'm very pleased to report that we are on track with the bills and our priorities that we've addressed previously that are up on our website as to what we are trying to do. And we have great bill authors and right on track to do what we need to do. But tomorrow will be 60 days. That will leave us 80 days to go in this session. And the pace continues to pick up a little bit behind me. I wish they could just pick up the pace on finishing the roof of the Capitol building. 2 years is long enough, it seems to me. But in any event, inside the dome, a lot of good things are happening. Part of what we do is we move our priorities. Those things are important. And we also monitor and track the bills that are being filed by other members and other organizations. So we have our proactive legislation we keep up with, but also keep an eye for things that could be problematic or at least interesting or something that we need to bring to the attention of THCA and its members. And so there's several of those I want to address with you here today. I'm not going to go too long because my voice may fade on me. Hopefully the next time you see me, one, I'll have a decent haircut, get a chance to run home. Next week is spring break for most people. So I imagine a lot of you out there have plans and things to do, places to go. So we're going to, and I'll remind you at the end of this, that we're not going to have a weekend review next week. We'll come back, I believe that's going to be Friday, March the 28th for the next one. And by that time, we'll have a lot of stuff piled up to tell you. But let me go real quickly right through our priorities and tell you where we are and what we have. But before I do that, I do want to say one thing. I was over today in the House floor, and we paid tribute to a great Texan and a great friend and a great member of the House, and then the Houston mayor, and then most recently a congressman from Houston, but Sylvester Turner passed away, and he was honored. One of the rare times that we've had a member lie in state on the floor of the House and have a memorial ceremony. So it was appropriate and fitting, and several spoken remembrance of Sylvester and his contribution to the state of Texas. So just want to wish our best prayers and best wishes and fondest hopes and recollections of our good friend Sylvester Turner of Houston and all those things that he's done. He always was a happy warrior on the floor, even when he couldn't win, when things were not going his way. He always fought the good fight and did it the right way and made his constituents proud, and Texas is better for it. So rest in peace, my good friend Sylvester. So, but he would know more than anybody that the show must go on. And so as the show goes on, we have got our bills filed. That's great news for us. We have our informal dispute resolution bill, the double dipping bill with the feds and the state. Many of you have had to grapple with that. We have filed the legislation to correct some of the, I won't say abuses that we've seen in the past, where we have, our members have gone in and have contested some of the findings of HHSC in their survey process, only to have them reversed, but then not be recognized when the Impro, the company that's hired to do that, to do the arbitration, kind of review the process, have found in our favor, our members' favor, and reduced or eliminated the penalties or the citation, but only to have it come back full force when it's ignored. So we've seen improvement of that by the HHSC, but still we need to see that in writing and confirm that the current track will continue. So the IDR bill has been filed in the House by the Vice Chairman, Christian Manuel. That's House Bill 4670. We'll be posting the bills that we're tracking, our proactive bills, on our website. It has a companion in the Senate filed by Vice Chairman Charles Perry, and that's Senate Bill 2269. So those bills will move, meet somewhere in the middle around the rotunda, and we'll see who gets there first, and then hopefully have some opportunities along the way to address additional language and come to some good understandings and move this thing through as a good piece of legislation. Our other, one of the other priorities is on the CHOW, the change of ownership issue that we've talked about several times, and again, we've put that up on the website. We'll put the bill language up as well, so you can see what exactly we're saying in the legislation. It's intended to be plain language. Statutes aren't very good if people don't know what they mean. So with the best of intentions, the lawmakers do try to put it in words and simple phrases and reviewed by council so that it actually can be enforced. Sometimes that works better than others, but I think on our instance, we've really put together good legislative language, and I want to give a tip of the hat to our entire THCA legal affairs and legislative committee on the work that you've done there. Several solid members, some of whom happen to be attorneys, and then of course our outside counsel, Gavin Gatberry, for all of his hard work in putting that together. So, and I want to thank 𝐀𝐋𝐋 𝐓𝐇𝐂𝐀, who chairs that committee for THCA, and her strong work and her knowledge of the building. She's been very, very helpful, very resourceful, and certainly knows her way around, and knows the process. It's kind of hard to pick it up, one or two trips around the sun, and so it's good to have some experienced hands on our team, and we've really got a good team put together. So thank you to both Gavin and to 𝐀𝐋𝐋 for your help and for the whole committee on that. But the CHOW change of ownership, House Bill 3902, filed by Tony Rose, an old classmate of mine, who's been a very influential and effective legislator. And then Senator Hancock of Fort Worth has filed Senate Bill 2578. Again, we'll put these up so you don't have to write the numbers down, and you can see the language. These are what we call companion bills, filed in both chambers. We have set up for the Senate to receive the House bill on the Medicaid Eligibility bill, and that's House Bill 3910, filed by Denise Villalobos. Sorry, Denise, that's a hard one for me to say. Villalobos. And she's a real delight and a freshman member from Corpus Christi, and takes great interest in these, has a good business experience and experience in healthcare, and was excited to have the opportunity to carry House Bill 3910 dealing with the Medicaid eligibility. And of course, you know, out there in the field, we want to do our best to take in residents who need our help, that can really benefit from the services we offer and provide. And sometimes we take them in knowing that it's going to be a while before we can get it processed for their Medicaid to confirm eligibility. And so our member organizations, to speed up the timeline, which used to be 30, 35, 45 days, now it's into the 9-10 months phase for some, that we're going to hopefully speed that up by saying, we'll take them in, we'll pay the money, the state's not responsible, our ownership, our members will be responsible for if we get one wrong, if they weren't actually eligible for Medicaid, the facilities, our members will bear that responsibility, again, not the state, but it will help us immensely, as you know, to be able to have the cash flow that's necessary to pay the bills. You know, because just because Medicaid hasn't been approved and the funds don't come in for 8, 9, 10 months doesn't mean we still don't have to keep the lights turned on, the food in the refrigerator, keep the equipment maintained, the air conditioner or the heater running, depending upon the season. And so those things never stop. And so this is a bill hopefully intended to get us back on track, like HHSC's done historically, working with CMS and getting those, apologize for this cough, it is kind of getting me a little harder than I thought. So, but hopefully we'll get, Denise will push this bill through, Representative Villalobos, and we will be able to address this again and correct the time delay. That's really a consistent theme that we're experiencing with HHSC. Again, not that these aren't good people that want to do well, that work hard and want to serve the state of Texas, but the clock seems to have gotten away from us a little bit there. And in fact, that's one issue non-legislatively. Let me just stop right here and address. We are waiting with bated breath. Every time I walk through the office, I stepped across to shoot our video for you, our weekend review, but we continue to have a problem with the HHSC and the QIP program and getting our scorecards out. And we have been anxiously awaiting. Those should have been out in February, then it was pushed back to March, then it was going to be quicker. We thought last Friday, now it's supposed to be yesterday, now it's supposed to be today. As of Thursday at least, not out. I'm hoping by the time you're watching this, we've received the scorecards, and then we expect that HHSC is going to encourage the MCOs, the managed care organizations, to release at least half the funds the working plan right now is that there are 2 scorecards, one that they prepared but was, let's just say, erroneous. And the reason for that is the information that came in from CMS was incomplete and or inaccurate. So then they're doing a new scorecard, and they're going to take the lesser of those 2 scorecards per facility, apply the lesser one, and then pay on that scorecard rating. And hopefully that'll give us some relief and some funding, not only for us, but for our hospital district partners around the state that are partners on the QUIP program, and whose money is also tied up. The money is there. That's the good news. The money has been received, but it's being held by the MCOs, and who are unable to release it until this step in the process happens. So we're hung up on kind of a timing issue. Trust me, we all feel the frustration here. We're pushing, we're calling. I want to thank former HHSC Commissioner Chris Traylor, who works with us, and his involvement and has really helped to get this thing on track, or keep it at least as on track as possible. But I'm hoping by the time you watch this, we've gotten the good news. And then, and hopefully the HHSC and members, we're going to encourage you to reach out to your MCOs you deal with, and to encourage them to get the funds paid out. Not wait the full 20 days, which is allotted under the program, but to do it ASAP, because again, we're basically 2 months behind schedule, and that's 2 months of significant funding for our hospitals and for our facilities. So that's coming up. So we understand, we're here, we're pushing as hard as we can, and I'm really going to cross my fingers and hope that this resolves either today or tomorrow. But we are on top of it, and a lot of people are hollering and screaming. So while we are talking here across the street, Article 2 in the House Appropriations continues to meet. That is the article dealing with healthcare issues. They're taking up several different portions of the bill, different interests, in healthcare, which will be with hospital, with managed care organizations, with nursing facilities. There's all sorts of programs that fall under the umbrella of Article 2. And it's a challenge. There's a lot of needs in this state. And yes, we do have a large budget, and a large surplus budget at that, as we've discussed, somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 billion surplus. But there's always more needs and more demands and more wants than there is money, and this session is no exception. So we're in there pushing. We're hoping to be successful in seeing a rate increase for our facilities under the Medicaid rate, the daily rate. And that's going to be an ongoing conversation. As the articles finish their deliberations, they will all come together in a group as the full Appropriations Committee, and then adopt a budget, a House version of the budget. The Senate bill will be the lead budget. That'll be the one that will hit the floor of the Texas House, and then that will be going through on a very long and tedious and stressful day on the Texas House. It's often been said, I think it's a truism, that the best reflection of Texas priorities is the Texas budget. The old saying that you put your money where your mouth is. This is an opportunity every 2 years that we look at our money and we put our money where it needs to go, and we outline what those priorities are. And sometimes some priorities are neglected and others are stressed. And so let's hope that we will be successful in pushing additional funding. We all know that Texas ranks near the bottom of the states on the Medicaid funding rate, and we have been bringing that to the attention of the legislature for many years, and throughout the interim, and trust me, throughout all the deliberations so far. So that process is still going, and we'll update you on that. So as I said, before I start coughing too much and nobody wants to see me coughing and hacking, I'm going to bring this one to a short close. And so my fervent wish and prayer is, when I see you next, we'll be coming to you live on Friday, March the 28th. We'll have 2 weeks worth of information to talk about. I'll have a better haircut and hopefully no cough and congestion. So for all of you out there, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for all you do to take care of the elderly in Texas. We can never do enough to take care of the people who took care of us. And so your sacrifice and your service is greatly appreciated. and we're here for you because we know you're there for them. So let's y'all enjoy a spring break and hope some time off. It looks like we're getting some nice spring weather. March 20th will be the first day of spring. Happens to be my oldest son's birthday, and so we'll do that and then come back here in a couple of weeks and let you know how the bills are. Next step in the process is going to be to push the bills out to be referred to the committee. We fully expect our bills will go to the Human Services Committee in both the House and the Senate, and then we will be pushing to get hearing dates, and we will let you know about those. We'll be in communication with all of you, with those key members that you may be their constituent or you work in their districts in the House or Senate, and get you to communicate with them and express your support for our priorities. But again, it takes a team to pull this off, and we couldn't have a better team than we have here at the Texas Healthcare Association. Again, it's my honor to be your president and get us through this session and then off to the summer. We'll be talking more later on about we have our summer show coming up, and then we'll have a big fall show for the 75th Platinum Anniversary of the THCA. So a lot of good things ahead of us. But until then, y'all enjoy the weather. Have a great spring break, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. God bless. Bye-bye. Hey folks, Travis Clardy back. I think I mentioned in the previous segment, we're waiting on HHSC to give us the scorecard numbers, and lo and behold, they came through today. So as we would say in the courtroom, we're going to back on the record. And let me give you a real quick 2-minute update. So we do have, and I'm looking at the computer of Leticia Caballero, our chairwoman of the Legal and Advocacy Committee, and there is some disparity between the numbers. First time I've looked at these, but the best news is they are here. Good news is the HHSC is encouraging the MCOs to kick out the money and not wait the full 20 days. And so all of you out there that care about this issue, pick up the phone and start dialing, talk to your leadership teams, and let's start encouraging them to get that money out. We need this in our operations so we can take care of our folks. But at long last, it's here. It looks like there are some differences, but nothing too stark comparing scorecard 1, which was when it was what we're calling frozen. Now with new information from CMS, where they have unfrozen those metrics, and that's about as deep as I'm going to go into this at the moment. But there's some gap, and then the instructions from HHSC is to pay the lesser amount. And again, it may vary 5-10%. It looks like, just eyeballing some of these comparisons. But hopefully this will break the log jam, and we'll start getting some money to our members. And then we will address this down the road to do the even up or catch up. And more importantly, we get the system fixed where we don't have this delay in the future. So with that, I'm going to bid you a fond adieu, and we'll see you on March 28th for our next week in review from the THCA. Thank you. Bye-bye.